morning show, right? Today we play Liverpool, but also Erik Ten Hag has actually responded to a lot of the criticism. He's actually responding to a lot of the people that are asking him the question, okay, are you gonna actually make top four? So Erik Ten Hag right now, he's responding to a lot of the criticism. Of course, today we play Liverpool, but right now these are massive, massive comments from the manager. I just wanted to go through them and actually discuss this in detail because Erik Ten Hag right now, he looked extremely upset. He looked extremely upset. The journalist asked him, "Oh, what gives you confidence that you're gonna get top four? What gives you the confidence that you're gonna get top four based on the first two games?" And he just responded and said, based on how we've been in the past 2 years, we've won the most trophies after Manchester City. After Manchester City, Manchester United have won the most trophies. So that was Erik Ten Hag's response. His response to the journalist, the criticism was, can you make top four? Are you good enough to take Manchester United into that top four race? And he just responded with a simple answer. He said, hey, in the last 2 years, we're the most competitive team for trophies after Manchester City. We've won the most trophies after Manchester City. And that's a genuine response. That's a genuine response from Erik Ten Hag. You can genuinely see that he was upset when he actually made those comments. And now you can make an argument that, hey, that is factual, right? After Manchester City, we have been the most competitive team in the Premier League based on trophies. Based on trophies, yes, league performances, league results haven't been there, but based on trophies, Erik Ten Hag is saying we are the most competitive team after Manchester City based on trophies. We are the second best team based on winning trophies in the past 2 years. Only Manchester City have won more trophies than Manchester United in the past 2 years in the Premier League. So he's basically just saying, hey, this is the situation. You either back the process, you have to be patient, and he's just stating that, hey, people have to be patient. This is gonna be a process for me, and a lot of pressure is adding up for Erik Ten Hag. This is the season a lot of pressure will pile up, right? Although the argument is that, hey, after Manchester City, we've won the most trophies, but now you gotta actually back that in the league, right? We can't be finishing eighth. We can't be finishing with negative goal difference. So you're stuck in a tricky situation. Yes, you're winning trophies, but then the league form last season was so bad that you sometimes people overlook your trophies. They'll just say, oh, really? You're winning all these trophies, but you're finishing eighth with negative goal difference. So really, truly, Erik Ten Hag, he has a lot of work to do. This season, you have a lot of work to do. You have a lot to actually improve this team. Try to win something and try to actually finish the season on a high, because yes, you can say Manchester United have won the most amount of trophies after Manchester City in the Premier League, but then the results in the Premier League, the outcome in the Premier League, it doesn't really back your claim a lot. Yes, the trophies are there, but the Premier League form last season, it was so bad. We need to actually improve on that. But I understand where the manager is coming from. Him telling journalists that, hey, we're the second most competitive team based on trophies. You can make an argument for that, but most people, they just want to see Manchester United winning major trophies, right? Yes, the Carabao Cup is a good trophy. The FA Cup is a good trophy. But I think a lot of Manchester United fans want to see us back into a Premier League title race. They want to see us back into a Champions League final. So these are the goals for the manager in the next 2 seasons, right? Because we know that Ineos, they've backed him massively, right? So even if he loses against Liverpool, I think the club have backed him enough to say, okay, we'll stick with you maybe until December, even if he has a bad run, because they've backed him. They've sold Jadon Sancho. That's the manager's decision. That was his decision to let Jadon Sancho go. He genuinely didn't want Sancho. And they backed him. Defenders, they're there, right? Delit has come. Mazraoui has come. So, yeah, this is intense for the manager because I feel where he's coming from. I feel where he's coming from when you have a lot of criticism, when the pressure's on. But sometimes the performances, they gotta be there, right? I don't wanna be over criticizing him because this is his job, this is his livelihood, right? I don't wanna be responsible for him actually being part of, okay, he loses his job, he loses his money, but saying that I want the best for Manchester United as well. So the manager, he has a lot of criticism, but you have to shut them up with results, right? The only way you can stop the criticism is by performing with results in the Premier League. If you beat Liverpool today, none of the critics, these journalists will be talking, right? The journalists will keep quiet completely. If you beat Liverpool and convincingly, none of the journalists will be actually talking and asking the question, oh, are you good enough? Are you this? Are you that? Oh, I think everybody is actually asking the question, can Erik Ten Hag survive the full season? Can Erik Ten Hag survive the long run? And that's a massive question he has to prove to the people, to the fans, and to these journalists, right? The only way you can keep these people quiet is by performing, right? That's the only way. You have to perform. You have to win games. And unfortunately, we're in an industry where it's all about results, right? People don't care. Okay, yes, 2 seasons ago, he won the Carabao Cup. Last season, he won the FA Cup. If this season is horrible, people won't care about the previous trophies. It's about, okay, what are you doing right now? So I understand where the manager is coming from. I understand the frustration from Erik Ten Hag. I understand everything. But right now, the only way you can respond is by winning. The only way you can actually be safe is by winning. If you win those games, if you actually beat Liverpool and then go on a winning run, a lot of the journalists, they'll keep quiet. They'll say, okay, fair play to you. You've turned things around. You're playing great football. You're winning games. And nobody will really talk if you're winning games, if you're competing, right? With Arteta, a lot of journalists, they were questioning him as well, right? But then he challenged for the league, and then that noise, it reduced. So the same for Erik Ten Hag. If you just start performing, if you just start improving in the Premier League, these questions won't be asked. Questions about, oh, can you make top four? Oh, are you confident enough? The board have backed you. Can you actually deliver? These questions, they'll be easier if you actually perform. And sometimes the manager, he doesn't make it easy for himself because of some of the substitutions, right? When you need a big performance, when you need a big player on, he's bringing in guys like Anthony. So sometimes people will criticize things like that. People will criticize, okay, why did you do this? Okay, how? What made you do this? Okay, why did you select this team? Okay, why are we not creating chances? Because all that comes down to the manager. If the journalist, yes, the journalist, he's a journalist. He's going to ask the questions. They're going to ask. Yes, a lot of people are not optimistic about today's game, but it's up to the manager to give us hope. If the first 20 minutes we're playing some good football, we're playing some great football, a lot of people will have some confidence of winning the game, right? If we score the first goal, if we take the game to Liverpool, all we want is to perform. All we want is to actually win games. And right now, a lot of people will ask questions for the manager. I don't think anyone is 100% confident that will beat Liverpool today, right? Because Liverpool, they are a good team. They are a massive team. They can hurt you. They have players like Mo Salah that can hurt you at any time. So a lot of people won't be fully confident for this game, but you just have to wait and see what the manager does. Wait and see, okay, what team plays, what team actually does the manager select. I think with this new Liverpool manager, we have a chance. We have a chance because Erik Ten Hag, he's played this man before. He's played Slop before, right? They've played in the Dutch league. They've competed in the Dutch leagues time and time again. So he knows this manager more than he knows other managers in the Premier League. So I expect some type of result. I expect some type of result. That's just the feeling I have today. I just have that feeling that, okay, we're at home. We might get something. I'm not saying we will outperform Liverpool. I'm just saying we might get something. That's just the feeling I have for today. But with Erik Ten Hag, the criticism that you're facing, the only way to respond is by winning. Improve the performances because people will ask questions. When you spend money, everybody will ask questions. Okay, why isn't this moving like that? Why isn't this going like that? And overall, you gotta give the fans confidence. You gotta give the people confidence that, okay, I'm ready to perform. I'm ready to go to the next level. I'm ready to be the main man at Manchester United because Man United, it's a club with a lot of options, right? If they want a new manager, they can replace Erik Ten Hag immediately. That's the type of club you're at, Eric. You have to prove that, okay, I'm better than these other managers because Man United were that team that can get pretty much any manager, pretty much any player. There's so much competition for your job, right? If the board fired Erik Ten Hag right now, there'll be a lot of managers applying for this job. So Erik Ten Hag, you have to realize that you're in a job with so much competition, and being in a job like that with a lot of competition, you gotta perform. You gotta be consistent because it's not a job like Burnley where there's no competition. This is Manchester United. So much competition. So many people want to replace you, Erik Ten Hag. That's what you have to realize, that at the top level, you have so many people trying to replace you. And that's just life in general. If you're at a top job, if you're at a top club, if you're at a top institution, so many people want to replace you, right? They want the money you're making. They want to be the head coach of Manchester United. How many managers in the championship would fight for your job, Erik Ten Hag? So many people would want to take your job in an instant. So it's up to you as the manager to say, hey, I'm good enough for this job. Hey, all these other candidates, they're not as good as me. And the only way you can do that is by performing. The only way you can do that is by winning games. If you're consistent, if you're winning, nobody will ask questions. The journalists, they won't even ask, okay, are you good enough? Oh, was it the right decision to sell Sancho? Oh, is this the right decision? Oh, are you going to perform this season? Oh, are you going to get top 4 this season? People wouldn't have questions if you were performing, because with Pep Guardiola, nobody asks him these types of questions. They just ask him, okay, what's the team news today, Pep? Oh, what's going on with this player? Oh, is this player still injured? Those are the types of questions the journalists ask Pep Guardiola. But with Erik Ten Hag, you're going to get those questions. Oh, are you good enough to get top 4? Are you good enough to win the Europa League? Are you good enough? People will ask those types of questions. If you're good enough, like Pep Guardiola, people don't ask those types of questions to Pep. Nobody will ask him, oh, Pep, are you going to get top 4? Oh, Pep, are you going to do this? Oh, Pep, yo, how you doing, bro? How you doing? Yay. Nobody's going to ask those types of questions if you were performing. If you're actually the man we want you to be, people wouldn't have criticism. People would just be celebrating. I think every Man United fan on this planet, they had no doubts with Sir Alex Ferguson. When Sir Alex Ferguson was here, we were just celebrating, right? Because we were in title races, we were in Champions League finals. That's the level you need to reach, Pep Guardiola. Thanks, brother. Thanks. I just try to keep it consistent, and yeah, the content will keep coming. But right now, the manager, you have to actually prove to the doubters, prove to the people that, hey, I can be the man for Manchester United. I am the man to take this club to the next level. If you prove that, and Liverpool, that's the start. That's where you start to actually prove yourself. If you can win against Liverpool, a massive performance today is everything. Is everything. Yeah, more haters. You just have to stay strong, right? You just have to stay strong. Stay strong. Stick on with your strategy. If you truly believe that, okay, as the manager, what I'm doing can take us to the next level. As the manager, what I'm doing can bring us success. You're gonna actually make it. You're gonna actually be the best man for the job. As the manager, oh, I'm doing this, but it's going like that, right? Sometimes in life you have to realize, okay, I made a mistake. Was Anthony good enough? I made a mistake. Sometimes you have to take accountability. When you make a mistake, you just have to take accountability. But sometimes Erik Ten Hag, he's gonna stick with the problem even when the problem is hurting us, right? So that's the part the manager has to improve a bit, right? You can't keep sticking with a player like Anthony if he's underperforming. So I get the criticism sometimes, but the only way you can respond is by being the best. This is a competitive job. Football is a competitive industry. If you're not competitive, you won't actually reach a level. You'll be fired. You'll be fired because there are a lot of candidates. There are a lot of people trying to take your job. So as the manager, give confidence by winning games. If you win that game against Liverpool, if you perform the way we want you to perform. We want you to actually go to Old Trafford today. We're at home. If you bring up a massive performance, if you actually win the game, he might not be the right man for the job, right? But with time, we'll see. We'll see, right? If you look at Pep, nobody questions him. Nobody questions him. Is he a bad manager? Is he this? Is he that? Because he's actually shown it in the past. He's actually competed for the Premier League. And with the money we're spending, people are going to ask the questions. Okay, Erik Ten Hag, you are spending so much money. Where are the Premier League results? Yes, it is true that, okay, after Manchester City, we've won the most trophies. But then a lot of fans are still upset with the Premier League, how we finished with the Premier League. We finished, what, 8th place, negative goal difference. That needs to improve, right? Yes, a lot of fans were happy that we won the FA Cup. We're happy that we won the Carabao Cup. And, Greenwood, he's a massive talent. He's a massive talent. We already know that, but unfortunately, the club had to sell him. Sometimes he made a mistake, and the club made their decision to let him go. So it was a tricky situation with Mason Greenwood, right? He's a talented player, probably one of our best strikers. If he was still here, he would be our best striker, no doubt about it, right? But the club, they made their decision, and now we have to actually move on. Yeah, I wish him the best as well. He's even doing better than Mbappe, right? In the French league, was Mbappe producing those types of numbers? He wasn't, right? Yeah, we have Ahmed now. Ahmed, he's gonna be unbelievable for us. I think he can grow his game. Even Garnacho, he's improving. So against Liverpool, if you start Garnacho on the left, Ahmed on the right, because Rashford, we can agree that Rashford has been underperforming for some time now. So in a big game like this, you have to actually drop him. I know his pace and his acceleration will actually help the team in transitional play, right? When we have counters, things like that. But sometimes you have to sacrifice that for a better performance because Rashford, sometimes he doesn't press, he doesn't look like he wants to be part of the game. And Rashford, sometimes he's just playing on easy mode, right? He's playing on easy mode. He knows he's already made his money. He knows, okay, I'm already making a lot of money. It doesn't really make sense for me to overperform, for me to put in the hard work. Right now, it looks like he's not interested, Rashford. So it's better to start Garnacho, someone who is interested, who is willing to actually prove himself. Regardless of whether you rate Garnacho or not, you can see that, okay, this guy, he will press, he will try everything. Yo, never show with Evra. I still have to watch that. I still have to watch that. I'm going to watch that today. Look, we made profit off of those two players, right? Sancho, Greenwood, and that money, you can use it in the future. You can use it to actually better the team. And consistency, that's the name of the game, right? If you can keep being consistent in the transfer window, this transfer window, it's been great. Defensive wise, we've strengthened. I think Bruno, he's up and down, right? He's up and down. He's up and down. If you look at our options, you have to stick with Bruno, right? Because obviously we know that the manager, he loves Bruno Fernandes. And with like a type of player like Bruno, he's up and down. He'll give you a magical moment and he'll be horrible in some moments. So with Bruno Fernandes, you never know what to expect, right? There'll be some games he turns up with an unbelievable goal. He'll turn up with an unbelievable assist, but there will be some games where he has really poor performances. But right now, I think we have to, yeah, he is frustrating sometimes, Bruno, right? Verts, he'll be a good addition, but can the board actually get him through, right? That's the question. Can the board, because Bruno, they gave him a new contract. So he's here for some time now. So, and that's the new regime. That's Ineos. Ineos have given him a new contract. Same with Marcus Rashford. They've actually backed these players with contracts. So I think if you're telling me, okay, in a few years they'll get someone like Vitz, maybe, but right now I think they're gonna stick with Bruno Fernandes. They're gonna stick with Marcus Rashford because they've given these players contracts, right? With players like Sancho. Sancho left because no one really wanted him at the club. Because if they wanted him, they would have given him a contract. They gave Rashford a contract. They gave Bruno a contract. So you can see that, okay, Bruno, Rashford, these players are gonna be here for some time now. And Sancho, we saw his message. He sent a message to the fans. Yeah, we can play some type of football with Bruno, right? But right now, it looks like we have to be patient with Bruno because he looks to be our only option. Mason Mount is injured. I think Christian Eriksen, you can actually play him in that number 10 role, right? If you have the freedom. Now that we have Ugarte, Christian Eriksen, he's a viable option because he doesn't have to do that leg work, that dirty work. That dirty work, you can leave Ugarte to do that. And Ugarte, he gives you some type of freedom, right? Now you have Ugarte, you get some type of freedom. For a player like Eriksen, now you can experiment with a player like Eriksen because we saw what Eriksen did in the Euros, right? A player like that, when you give him freedom to create, when you give him freedom to be himself, with Eriksen, you can never write him off because he's that type of player that can create. In the first season he came to Manchester United, he was our most creative player before he got that injury. So you can see when Eriksen is given such type of freedom, he can create. And I think he's our most creative. Yeah, Amad Diallo, he can play number 10. So you have a lot of options to actually test that out. And we know that the manager against Liverpool, he's going to start Rashford because Rashford, it looks like the manager, he just loves Rashford. Even a few days ago, he was actually backing Rashford. He was saying, no, Rashford, you shouldn't be criticizing him, right? He's doing what I want him to do, this and that, that and this. So the manager, we know that he loves Marcus Rashford. We know that he loves Bruno Fernandes, and those are two players I expect to start because of what the manager does, right? Because of the previous games, and because we know those are the two players the manager will never drop. Rashford, Bruno, those are two players the manager will never drop. And we have to also realize that Bruno, he picked Bruno Fernandes as our captain, right? So Bruno is not going anywhere. Let's hope Rashford will be better, right? Sancho has left, and now we barely have options in the attack, but we still have Zerski. We know that Bruno, he's our captain. He's gonna start. We know that he's gonna start. We know that Rashford, he's gonna start. There's a high possibility that Rashford will start against Liverpool. So overall, we should just expect the same team. We should just expect the same things, right? Erik Ten Hag, he's actually moving the same way, the same results. We shouldn't expect him to actually change because he doesn't change. He rarely changes the team unless the player makes a massive mistake, right? I think De Ligt should start, but we can expect Maguire again. We can expect Harry Maguire to start again. So, yeah, 43 goals. Yo, he has it in him, Rashford, but I think you can see his expression sometimes. Sometimes he looks like, okay, I don't want to play football anymore. I just want to relax. I just want to this. But he has the potential to actually score a lot of goals. He has a lot of, both Bruno and Rashford have the potential to get GA. But the question is, okay, can they put in massive performances? Can they be the players that take us to that level that we want to actually reach, right? We want to reach a level where Manchester City is. It's good for the manager to say, okay, after Manchester City, we've won the most trophies. But yeah, hard work is everything. Hard work is everything. And you can see with Rashford, he's not putting in that hard work. And with the manager, you can say that, okay, yeah, with Liverpool, we've had this and that. But yeah, I hope he drops Rashford and starts Zerski and Garnacho. That's what I hope for the team as well. So if he starts Zerski, Garnacho, I think we have players that will be pressing. We have players that will try and win the ball back. With Rashford, yeah, Garnacho and Ahmad, they have hunger for the game. Rashford doesn't have that type of hunger. The hard work isn't there anymore. We saw when Rashford actually broke into the team, the way he used to run, the way he used to press, he was hungry. But now he already has the big money contract. He doesn't need to work. He doesn't need to actually take his game to the next level. Right now, we can see that Rashford, he's lost interest. He's lost interest because he already has the money. He already has the power. And if you guys are subscribed to Ronaldo's channel, Ronaldo and Rio Ferdinand, they did like a podcast on Ronaldo's channel. So I was watching that, and then Ronaldo said, hey, most of the players, their main priority is money, right? And you have to agree with what Ronaldo had to say, right? A lot of the players right now, their main priority is money. They don't really care about, oh, I want to make history. They don't really care about, oh, I want to do something great. If Casemiro we know that the manager will start Casemiro, right? Because Ugarte, he wasn't registered in time for the Liverpool game. So we can expect Casemiro to start. We can expect all these other players to actually start. Rashford, Bruno, Casemiro, these guys are going to start because we know what the manager loves. We know how the manager actually backs his players. And overall, this Liverpool game, all you need to do as Manchester United is get a massive performance. If you can get that performance, if you can get that win, you can actually get a win, right? If you can put in a performance, put in something we can be proud of, right? At the end of the game, I just Our best earners are the worst players on the pitch. And you can see that because they've made their money. Now they don't need to try. Right? Before they were working hard for that contract. He was working hard for that money. Right? Every day in the gym, every day you're early to training. But now they don't need to do that because they already have money. Our top earners are underperforming because they already have that security. And as a human being, that's sometimes natural, right? Sometimes natural. When you're starting off in life, when you're starting off at your new job, you're gonna put everything. You're gonna put everything. But then when you have the confidence of the job, okay, yeah, this job can't replace me. You're gonna reduce the quality that you're putting in before. Before you're putting in hard work, you're putting in everything you got. But then when the job gives you that confidence, but it's a mentality thing as well, right? Some people don't never stop. You see Ronaldo, he's never gonna stop, regardless of whether you pay him 1 billion. He wants to be the best. He wants to be above everybody else. So sometimes it's just a mentality thing, right? You can give a player money, but their performance won't stop because, yeah, Mo Salah, he is world class. Mo Salah, you can see that man, he has that Ronaldo mentality where I want to be the best, regardless of how much I'm making. It's not about the money. It's not about this. Mo Salah, he's going to turn up. He's going to work hard for himself. These are the types of players that work hard for themselves. They want to actually make history. With other players, they work hard for the money. With players like Ronaldo, Mo Salah, they work hard for history. They want to be the best. They want to actually prove their doubters wrong. With Rashford, he just does it for the money. Okay, let me just put in an average performance so that I get my paycheck at the end of the game, so that I get my paycheck. Let me just be good enough so that they don't sell me, right? I'll underperform, but I won't be too bad, right? I won't be horrible, because if he's too horrible, he knows that, Sir Jim is here. Anyone can be sold now. Anyone can be sold, right? These guys, they're not like the Glazers. With the Glazers, they only cared about money, right? If, okay, this player can win us some money, this player can bring us some money, that's all they cared about. But right now, it's about performing. It's about, okay, who can bring us trophies? Who can bring us to the top level? Who can help us compete with Manchester City? That's what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is focused about. With the Glazers, is okay, Rashford, you can sell shirts. Let's give you a new contract. That's how they think. That's how the Glazers think. Okay, Bruno, you can sell shirts. Let's give you a new contract. Okay, Rashford, you're selling a lot of shirts. Let's give you the number 10, and then let's give you a new contract. That's how the Glazers think, right? They only care about shirt sales. Shirt sales, they make them a lot of money, right? Because if you yeah, sometimes it's hard to watch. Sometimes it's hard to watch, but you have to understand that English isn't the manager's first language. So, of course, it's going to be weird for him to express himself. Sometimes you're wondering, okay, what is he really saying? What does he really mean? Right? So, sometimes you just have to understand, hey, this is the manager we have. And we didn't employ him for interviews and speaking and what. Really, I think most fans, they don't care if he can express himself well. They just care, okay, are you a good manager or not? Can you win us trophies or not? Really, that's really the most important thing, right? Yes, he can't express himself, but if he wins us the league, I think nobody will really care whether Erik Ten Hag can speak well or not. Because if he wins us Champions League or a league, if he was great, nobody would really care, right? Pep Guardiola, sometimes when he came to England, he wasn't too good at expressing himself. He wasn't too great at actually communicating. But if the manager starts winning, people won't really care. Oh, he's good in interviews. He's good in this. He can speak like this. People just want to see you win. People just want to see Manchester United compete for the league. If he was the worst person to communicate, but then he's winning us trophies, he's winning us this and that, people won't really care. We just want to see Manchester United win. And winning, it starts today, right? You have to win against Liverpool. Rashford is like the new Martial. Yeah, sometimes Martial, he started extremely well. And we remember his first game. His first game was against Liverpool. He scored and he was unbelievable. But then he declined. The injuries just finished him. And overall, let's hope Rashford, if he can't perform, let's hope the board can actually replace him. Because it's better to replace someone before it's too late. Before it's the his contract is almost up, right? You gotta replace him before these situations actually get worse. Because with Rashford, you're seeing a player on a lot of money. He's underperforming. He's losing interest. It's time for us to actually move on, right? So, yeah, Liverpool, I hope we perform well. But what the manager had to say, you can make an argument for it. Yes, we've won the most trophies after Liverpool. But right now, the fans, they only care about this season. They only care about, okay, can you win us something? Can you perform? Can you yeah, his salary is massive, but now we have Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, these guys, they can come for Rashford instantly, right? With Saudi, now you have an option. With Saudi, now you have an outlet to sell these players on high wages. So before, it was hard, right? But now you have Saudi. Saudi, they'll take Rashford instantly. So yeah, it won't be that hard to sell Rashford if he goes to Saudi. Saudi, they'll take his wages instantly. And overall, yeah, let's hope we win today. I just appreciate everybody that tuned in. And yeah, Liverpool versus Manchester United, I'll be live. So